I'm the best ever. I'm Sonny Liston, I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me.
Yo, bounce guy, go off.
I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants.
Wilder's in a world of trouble, closing seconds. Can he weather the storm here in the third round?
And the ball to superlative.
Big right hook, lands flush for Cambosos, and that knocks down Teofimo Lopez. We have ourselves a fight.
Khabib Nurmagomedov gets a triangle choke from up top. Gaethje's out, and the fight is over. The triangle choke for Khabib Nurmagomedov.
And Porter gets knocked down. He gets knocked down again. 10th round TKO win. Left uppercut, and then that's out Leo. It appears he's out cold. The fight is over. It was a counter left uppercut, and just like that, what a left uppercut. I did not see that coming, ladies and gentlemen. I will have to admit, what a fight.
Nice celebration or a 3K video. I don't know, man. To hit 3,000 subscribers and like
Right hook to the body for Campbell. Left hook to the body for Garcia. And then knocked down Campbell. It was a left hook to the body. Campbell on the ground. The count is on. Can he make his way up? It appears he can't get up. Campbell on the ground. Trying to stand up. And the fight is over. Ryan Garcia with a 7th round knockdown. What a performance. Guys, if you haven't, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 3,000 subscribers. Do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up. We're trying to do record number 7. Ryan Garcia tearing up and crying. What a performance for Ryan Garcia. Yeah. Let's go. Monday morning, MMA podcast episode 3, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get it, guys. Feels great to be here. We're once again almost on time, so we're getting a minute closer every Monday till we get to the spot on 10:30 a.m. because something always happens, right? 267-545-8096. If you want to call in and share your thoughts on Devin Haney versus Lomachenko, you can call in, leave a voicemail. We'll play that live on stream towards like the middle of today's episode, and I would love to hear some thoughts. So we got a few voicemails that I want to get to, so I'll make sure I do that towards the end of the stream and towards the end of the stream. So you got time. It's 267-545-8096. The first person in chat today was my man Beta Quest. So I should have called in and I didn't, but I just want to shout out to the homie that scored it 12-0 Devin without seeing a punch. You deserve an award for that one. Listen, man, a fan is a fan. That same day, at the end of the stream, he donated $10, and he was like, "Man, I'll be honest, I'm a Haney fan, so I was rooting for him, but I didn't watch the fight." You gotta love fans in boxing. What's up, 999? Welcome to the stream, my guy with the silver glove. So we got the email champ in beta, and then we got the silver glove, golden gloves, medalist 999 in the building. What's up, 999? What's up, Chad Rose? Welcome to the stream as well too this Monday morning. I believe you're overseas, right? If I'm not mistaken. So it's a little bit different time for you. And Hito in the building as well with the gold glove. Hito, I don't remember you telling me who you had winning for Loma versus Haney. You can call in at 267-545-8096 if you want to and leave your thoughts on the fight, and I'll play that towards the middle or end of the stream. But what's up, Hito? Hope you're well. Hope you're having a good Monday morning. You're probably home with your socks, boxers, and a tank top on because my man makes all his money in betting. So, lucky for him. One day we'll get to where he's at. We're not there quite just yet. All right, let's set up the how do we say? Let's set up the table for what we're about to talk about. Because listen, I rewatched it last night about 1 a.m. I finished watching it like at 2. Had to rewind a couple times. I said, Loma, me too. I switched towards the end. I don't know if you remember, but you know, I tend to do that sometimes. You could ask Beta. Guys, hit the thumbs up, by the way, too. Helps the channel immensely. But I rewatched it, and there's a couple things I have to admit, and there's a couple things I want to focus on. We can always lead to where the chat wants to talk about, but I rewatched it, and it was a little bit closer than I originally thought. Okay. I'll admit that firstly. It was a little bit closer than I originally thought, but at the same time, I still had Loma winning pretty clearly at best. If I'm being extremely generous and I give some swing rounds, and I have the rounds right here that I got written, so I'll let you guys know a little bit more about that later. But there were some swing rounds. At round number 1, they both landed 6 punches. It was pretty close. It could have went either way. Round 8, I felt like was a swing round as well too. Round 2 was pretty close. Could go either way. I actually gave that one to Haney. But we're going to set the table for what we're going to talk about today as far as whether it was a robbery. And listen, I promise you, I believe it'll be more entertaining than what it sounds like, because I'm about to tell you what we're about to talk about. It sounds boring if I say let's have a discussion about the judges, right? Because judges, since the beginning of time, as far as since boxing has been around, right? As far as like a commission and sanctioning fights and belts, in reality, I was right. I 100% agree. Let's set up the table for what we want to talk about today, because I feel you were right as well too. At best, I could give Haney a draw. I can't find a way to give him a win with the way I scored it. And the only way I could give him a draw is if I give him every swing round. So any round that was extremely close, if I were to give those 3 to Haney, then at best it's a draw. Now what's weird is too, one ref, which I don't know how you guys can explain it or if you guys can justify it, but again, you guys can call in and share your thoughts on that as well too. I don't know how a judge had it 116, 112. So essentially that means 8 rounds to 4, right? For Devin Haney. That is completely ludicrous to me. I don't know how the judge had it 8 rounds to 4 for Devin Haney, which was quite strange. But nonetheless, let's set up the table. Let's circle back to about April 23, 2023. So the scorecards are right here. I have them to the right of me. Round number 2 is what I want you guys to focus on. This was Devin Haney versus, this was Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Davis. We look at round number 2 right here. So this judge, Tim Cheatham, who was also a judge at the Lomachenko-Haney fight, gave it 10 rounds or 10 points to 9 points for Gervonta Davis. Now, if you guys follow boxing, if you guys watch boxing, you know when a fighter scores a knockdown, it doesn't matter unless the guy that was knocked down was absolutely destroying his opponent as far as outboxing him clearly. If he was out, and make sure you leave a voicemail 361, whoever's calling. I see it on my phone right there, so thank you. Make sure you leave a voicemail. I'll play it towards the middle of the stream, and anybody else that wants to call in, please do so, and maybe someone could put the phone number in the chat. Unless, let's say fighter A and fighter B are fighting, right? And fighter A is just picking his opponent apart, maybe even hurting his opponent, getting him on shaky legs. And fighter B knocks them down in that same round. You could give it 10-9 to the guy that scored the knockdown, but it's usually a general rule, unspoken rule in a sense, will be 10-8. Now, when it comes to Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis, we're going to lead to the Haney discussion. When it comes to Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia, it wasn't as if Ryan Garcia was completely outboxing his opponent, because that's not what he does. Ryan Garcia doesn't simply outbox you. He lands power punches. He's a boxer puncher. He's not going to use footwork like Lomachenko did or anything in that fashion. But these 2 judges, Tim Cheatham, which their names are down here, and Dave Moretti, after Gervonta Davis scored a knockdown, they still scored it 10-9. And Steve Wastefield scored it 10-9. What does Dave Moretti do? The same judge, the controversial judge. Thank you, Hito, for putting that in the chat. Yeah, you can call in, leave a voicemail, and I will play that during the middle of the stream. Dave Moretti, the same judge that was in the Devin Haney and Lomachenko fight, he scores it, Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis, a 10-10 after Gervonta Davis scored a takedown or a knockdown, which is horrible. I mean, There is no way. The guy, I believe, is 78 years old as well, too. But Dave Moretti, I believe they have a picture of him here. See if I could pull it up. The man is, I think is in the next link. The man is right here. Teddy Alice says 78-year-old Moretti is either corrupt. It could be either one, or as blind as a bat. I would say both. And I almost want to print this picture out, grab a staple gun, and post them around my neighborhood. Start a little troll session. Maybe it goes viral. We're looking for this man for accountability, because when was the last time that you guys saw a judge being held accountable for their actions, for their bad scoring? And we spoke about this on the live stream on Saturday. Yo, we had like 300 viewers. So listen, this channel is gonna grow. We appreciate you guys. I think we hit the peak 353. So crazy. Boxing streams go ham. So we're gonna keep working. But we said this live on stream. There's only two people that get away with essentially murder. That is a politician and a boxing judge. He's 78 years old. Maybe he can't see. Now we head over to the Devin Haney fight versus Lomachenko. And my man, once again, doesn't fail us. To me, the clearest rounds for Lomachenko, and to many, were rounds number 10, rounds number 11. And listen, this might sound like excuses. We can talk about it. Don't play my voicemail. It's a troll. I'm gonna have to now. What's up, Merchant? Welcome to the stream. I just got the bold take for you to listen to. Thank you, 999. So I appreciate that. Please call in. I think we got like 2 or 3 voicemails. Some more will be fun. It creates a fun interaction for the channel. So back to Dave Moretti. You see in the middle here. Hopefully you can see my mouse icon. Tim Cheatham, who isn't the best judge, scored round number 10 for Lomachenko. So did David Sutherland, round number 10 right here. There is no way that you can give round number 10 to Devin Haney. There's no way you could give even round number 11 to Devin Haney, and all 3 judges gave Lomachenko that round. But it is just quite ludicrous that the same judge, Dave Moretti, that scored it round number 10 for Devin Haney, is the same exact judge that we circle back here and gave as this still hasn't gotten enough attention. And the reason why this doesn't get enough attention is because Gervonta Davis won. If he would have lost for some reason, then maybe, Dave Moretti would have got some more traction, some more eyes on him. But of course, Gervonta Davis won, so it gets swept under the rug. But again, a 10-10 for Davis and Garcia, round number 2, when Davis scored a knockdown, is absolutely insane. We got to put this man on the poster. I mean, where is he right now? This guy right here should be held accountable, should be held guilty. Guilty on all charges. He's 78 years old, judging world title fights, unification bouts. Jermel Gonzalez in the building. What's up, G? Welcome to the stream. Got here early. My man G is a troll saying Haney won fair and square. Well, you can leave a voicemail at 267-545-8096 for those that felt that Haney won. We'd love to hear your argument. Let me catch up with chat before we continue this talk of Dave Moretti. I support getting all old people out of the way. Listen, you can even say Biden is a little too old to run the country. I think you could say Moretti is a little bit too old to be judging these fights. No way he gave Haney the 11th. He gave Haney the 11th. I think he might have gave Vasyl Lomachenko the 10th, or the 11th. I'm sorry. So at least he got that right. But Dave Moretti is just, and it's not only him. It's Tim Cheatham that had it 113, 115. He had it for Devin Haney. I watched the fight again. I'll try to put the my rounds here. So these are my swing rounds right now, and I got a couple clips that I want to play for you as well too, because now we can talk about whether Haney beats Gervonta Davis, whether Haney beats Shakur Stevenson. It is a conversation that needs to be had because those appear to be the most likely candidates of who the fans want to see fight. Round 1, both fighters landed 6 punches. It was a pretty close round. You could have it going either way. And again, when I watched it live without the commentators in my ear, without the headphones, I didn't hear the thudding punches that Haney landed to the body. I'll admit, I rewatched it last night around 1 a.m. Beautiful body work. Beautiful body work by Devin Haney. We can't take that away from him. Oh, 11th was domination, says overall 99. What's up, Alexander? Why does Dayton already low-key look like the grandpa from Up? Yo, he does a little bit. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I could look it up. Yo. 999 has a point. They look a little similar. Where is he at? I think he's a little bit more down. Where is he at? I mean, they're almost identical. No man that looks like the grandfather from Up should be judging these fights. And I don't mean to sound like a hater. 267-545-8096. You can call in, leave a voicemail. We'll play live on stream towards the middle of the stream. I don't mean to sound like a hater. It is not Devin Haney's fault. It is not his fault that it was judged and scored this way. It is not his fault that he believes that he won. Bill Haney, I think after round number 9, I rewatched the fight with the commentating. It was Tim Bradley, Andre Ward, Max Kellerman, Sprigler, I believe as well too. They all heard it. In round number 9, after round number 9, where I believe every judge gave it to Devin Haney. They did. Round number 9, after the round, Devin Haney goes back to his corner. What does his father tell him? Bill Haney, his trainer. He tells him, you're up on the scorecards. You're winning this fight. And maybe they really felt they did win. Now, when it comes to the championship rounds, the 10th and 11th, I thought were clear Vasyl Lomachenko rounds. Round number 12 is a little bit different. Round number 12, Devin Haney actually picked up. He was fighting near the ropes, landed some beautiful hooks, even upstairs into the body. And I would even go as far as to say this reminds me of maybe you could even say the Castillo versus Mayweather fight. That first fight, they gave the nod to Floyd Mayweather. And of course, everybody felt that Castillo won. Everybody was exclaiming it was a robbery. When they ran it back a second time, it was a clear win for Floyd Mayweather. And that's what I'm hoping that happens. But what scares me just a little bit is Bill Haney, after the fight, he said, listen, the fight wasn't even close, which is a little bit ludicrous to say, and I don't agree with that at all. It's a little bit ludicrous to say that that it wasn't close at all and that we don't want to revisit a rematch. Hopefully the fans ask for this fight and they almost, in a sense, demand it. Was he on Jerry Springer? It looks a little bit like it. Now, this is by ES News. This is Shakur Stevenson. After the fight, he was on the phone. I forget. His name is leaving my memory, but he's the one that says reporting all the way at the end of his videos every time. But Shakur Stevenson being interviewed, and the reason why I bring this video up is not only Shakur had it for Lomachenko, the reporter names all the boxers. So if you're saying, listen, you're just a casual fan, you don't know fighting, you don't know boxing, let's listen to a bit of the names that felt Lomachenko won pretty clear.
A couple days ago told me that he picks Devin to win.
Right now, he's speaking of Linares. He's saying a couple days ago, Linares, who fought Lomachenko and fought Devin Haney, and who picked Devin Haney to win, this is what he said.
And he just told me Loma won by 2 rounds. Fernando Vargas, Loma.
So Linares says Lomachenko won by 2 rounds.
Won by 2 rounds. Eddie Reynoso, Loma.
Eddie Reynoso, Fernando Vargas. Eddie Reynoso is the trainer of Canelo.
Won by 2 rounds. Yourself, Loma won.
Shakur Stevenson. He had it 8-4, so he had a little bit wider than most people. After watching it a second time, I have it 7-5.
By at least 2 to 3 to 4 rounds. What is it that everybody saw that some media members or some people in boxing didn't see? Why do you guys all tell me that Loma won?
And that's an important question. What gives you the nod to Lomachenko? Because many people feel, which I don't agree with, a lot of fans say to be the champ, you have to beat the champ, where that whole argument to me is a little bit ludicrous because a judge doesn't look at his scorecards at the end of a fight. A judge doesn't look at his scorecards and he goes, you know what? It's a pretty damn close fight. I have it 7-5, maybe 6-6. Let me tally up one more point for the champion because it was close and the champion, at the end of the day, deserves a nod. The challenger didn't do enough, so let's just give it to the champion. No, they score round 1, round 2, all the way to round number 12. And then they tally up the scores and, they announce who's and still or and new. It's not, to be the champ, you have to beat the champ. If it's a swing round, maybe if you're watching it round by round, let's say round number 3 is a swing round, you might favor Haney if he's a champion. But there weren't enough swing rounds, in my opinion, to clearly give it a cutout win for Haney. At best, you can say a draw. So the reporter says Fernando Vargas, Jorge Linares, Eddie Reynoso, they all had it for Lomachenko. I saw a tweet about Pro Grace as well, too, saying that who's a 140-pounder, who Devin Haney might fight in the future. But here's Shakur Stevenson as well, too, talking about who he felt won.
I think Lomachenko was...
Let me see if I can raise this a little bit.
The boxer that landed the cleaner punches. I feel like he landed the cleaner shots.
I feel like he landed the cleaner shots. And the thing about that as well, too, you're wrong for that one overall, says 999. I'm going to bring up the punch stats in a little bit. About 50% of Devin Haney's punches were to the body. I think he landed a total of 110, and 50 were to the body. I commend body work to slow down your opponent. But if you're landing punches to the body throughout the fight, if you're hurting your opponent, then I can visibly say, look, he's damaging, he's hurting his opponent. I can see why you can give him a swing round. But to me, it didn't seem like that slowed Lomachenko down at all, which makes a difference.
In the fight, I feel like Devin landed the better body shots.
Which is true. What's up, Merchant? What's up, Hito? What's up, 999? See you guys in the chat. So let's keep this discussion. You guys can call in at 267-545-096, and we'll play that towards in a little bit towards the middle of the stream.
But a lot of them wasn't like it wasn't fully getting through there.
That's another thing that I feel like a lot of viewers, that if you're gonna defend Haney, your first argument is saying, oh, do you not appreciate work to the body? Do you not appreciate I see what you're saying, Zelma. Nothing like a cup of coffee in the morning, man. Nothing like a cup of coffee at 10:30 a.m. on a Monday, guys. #1 commentary channel on YouTube. Thank you for being here. So let's keep talking about it as well, too. Let me catch up with chat. Curtis, and that's something I should have done 10 minutes ago. Let me start a poll. I would love, was it a robbery or a clear win for Haney? Let me write that in the chat as well, too, guys. If you guys are watching this on the replay, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up. #1 commentary channel on YouTube. Robbery or Haney clearly won? I would love to hear some thoughts. You guys can call in as well, too. Again, 267-545-8096. Curtis Williams says, am I the only one who noticed how messed up Lomachenko's face looked compared to Devin's after the fight? No, that is a great point. That's another Curtis Williams, man. There's so much to talk about. I'm glad you guys are here. Monday morning podcast every Monday morning. Curtis Williams with the silver glove. Thank you for the ongoing support. If I didn't watch the fight, right? Let's say none of us watched the fight. Check your voicemail. I'm about to play it literally in 5 minutes. I'm gonna play all the voicemails and I'm gonna respond to people's thoughts. Good morning, by the way, my guy. If you were to look at the face of Lomachenko and look at the face of Devin Haney, and let's say you didn't watch the fight at all, I can't be mad at you if you say, oh, listen, it looks like Lomachenko took more punishment. But this is my argument, Curtis Williams. And it's pretty simple. There are some fighters that cut up very easily. There are some fighters that you land a jab on them and their nose starts to bleed or their eye gets cut. Nate Diaz is a perfect example that it looks a lot of times like he went through World War II, even if he didn't take that much punishment to his face. There's some fighters that simply get cut up too easily, and that's why the damage criteria, as far as visibly, just on how the face looks after a fight, it's a little tough. For example, Triple G is one of those that could get hit a bunch of times and he doesn't look like he was even touched. There's a bunch of fighters, and my memory is fading me right now, but there's a lot of times where a fighter gets hit a bunch of times to the face and it looks like he didn't get touched once. I'm sure Beta could remind me because we've just seen a few fights. Some people bruise easy. Cotto the same exact way. Miguel Cotto is another one that it seemed like he got hit more than he afflicted damage. There's just some fighters that cut up more easily than others, and that's why you can't simply go off how both fighters look. But I do respect that you're saying, listen, I looked at Lomachenko's face and it looked like he took a lot of punishment. I 100% see where you're coming from. So let's rewind a little bit, and we're going to play the voicemails in a second.
Yourself, Loma won Linares a couple days
So he says he spoke to Linares a couple days ago.
Told me that he picked
Devin Haney to win.
Devin to win. And he just told me Loma won by 2 rounds. Fernando Vargas, Loma won by 2 rounds. Eddie Reynoso, Loma won by 2 rounds. Yourself, Loma won by at least 2 to 3 to 4 rounds.
Fernando Vargas, Eddie Reynoso, Linares. Now Shakur being
What is
interviewed.
it that
And we're going to play the
everybody
voicemails in a second. Real quick, guys, if you guys want to share your thoughts, and then I'll play it live on stream in a second. 267-545-8096. I will be playing that towards in a few minutes.
Some media members or some people in boxing didn't see. Why do you guys all tell me that Loma won?
Why do you guys tell me that Lomachenko won the fight this Saturday and he should be and new?
I think Lomachenko was the boxer that landed the cleaner punches. I feel like he landed the cleaner shots in the fight. I feel like Devin landed the better body shots.
And that is 100% true. We got to give credit to Haney. He landed beautiful body shots. About 50% of his punches were to the body.
But a lot of them wasn't like it wasn't fully getting through there. Like Lomachenko had his hands like in the right spot to.
And I've noticed that.
But some of them did get through. Some of them shots.
Shakur's giving full credit to Haney. Some of them did get through.
I just feel as though Lomachenko was the cleaner fighter.
And Lomachenko was using his footwork, and that's so much to say. Again, when you look at Devin Haney versus Jojo Diaz, that's the fight that he got most touched. That is a fight that he that we were surprised because we usually don't see Devin Haney get hit quite often, right? I want to put this on here as well too. We don't see Devin Haney get hit cleanly often. But against Jojo Diaz, he got hit more often than not. What was a lot of fans' argument? Well, listen, Haney was just trying to be more entertaining. I think after watching the Lomachenko fight, we can safely say, I truly think he has a problem against southpaws. Maybe he figures it out. Remember, he's young. He's about 24 years old. But Lomachenko was creating angles. A lot of and we got to give credit to Lomachenko. We're about to play the voicemail soon. We got to give credit to Lomachenko because what were people saying? At the end of the day, people were saying Lomachenko is old. He's 35. He's a shell of himself. The bigger fighter, the younger fighter is his time to shine. We're going to it's essentially going to be the passing of the torch. My birthday is next month. Mark Silva, early happy birthday. We all hate pillow hands, says Zelme. But normally after a fight, Devin has a couple of lumps, even the camera. And he did. If you look at his lip, if you look at his, I believe it was his right eye, had a good amount of swelling. Everyone sees my vision, says Zelme. Let's go. 999 says, and did Loma get rocked? But I saw Haney stumble. Loma never got stumbled back. Haney twice visibly. And another, again, plenty to talk about. Another talking point. Haney called Lomachenko a dirty fighter. Lomachenko got warned twice just to, not hold behind the head. Haney got warned twice not to hit behind the head and 2 times to be careful with the elbows or to hold or punching out of the clinch. It was Haney that, if you're going to say if anybody was dirty, not saying Haney was, but it was far from it that Lomachenko was the dirty fighter. Stumbled 2 times in round 1 and round 10, and the fact that Showbuzz had Haney winning and he thought Loma won. Yeah, he bet on it. He won money, but he wasn't happy about it. 999. He was honest. He says, listen, I'm friends with Haney. I'm friends with the father, the son. I'm even giving away a glove. And even he said, listen, he was a little bit, saying we got to hold these fighters accountable, or these judges. Curtis Williams says, Devin Haney's body shots were effective because they took out Loma's footwork, which he is so known for. It didn't stop him from using his footwork, though, is my argument. So y'all giving Loma extra credit because he was old. No, I'm just saying he was counted out. I had a clear 7-5, 7 rounds to 5 for Lomachenko, Curtis. But 2 of those body shots got Loma grabbing him in that 5th. Listen, there were times that Haney was looking to clinch, looking to tie up because Loma hurt him. And credit to Haney because after losing rounds 10 and 11, Haney won round number 12. Let's play some voicemails. I'm opening it up right now. So let's play some voicemails about this fight. And then also one more thing too. This was right after round number 10.
Clearest round for Lomachenko of the night, with the best exchange and the most productive combination that he's had. The 10th round, Lomachenko.
So you hear the commentator say it. No one disputed it behind the commentator.
Clearest round for Lomachenko of the night.
Clearest round for Lomachenko of the night. And again, we go back to the scorecards, and I don't know how in hell Dave Moretti gives that round number 10, to Devin Haney, 78 years old. He shouldn't be calling fights. Yeah, I rewatched it. I was saying earlier, I rewatched it. I have it 7 rounds to 5, but I can see at best if you're giving them the swing rounds, 6-6. So let's play some voicemails. This is the first time we're trying something new. As far as listening to voicemail callers. Ray said not to play his voicemail. Let me play some of it in the beginning and see what he has to say. Here we go.
Rick.
Give me 1 second. Here we go. Hopefully he's loud enough.
Listen, man, that fight was rigged. The rig was in. What you need to do is you got to figure out with these scorecard officials, how do they score these points, because it don't make sense. Research, Google it, I don't know.
And that's what we kind of did. Speaking of Dave Moretti, Tim Cheatham, judges that also scored the Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia fight, but he says it was rigged. Why would they rig it or give it to Devin Haney when Lomachenko is the top-ranked fighter and under the promotion that was leading it? Is my question to you guys. Because if they were to rig it for a certain fighter, I'll admit, it almost seemed it would make more sense for them to give it to Lomachenko, or for the judges to have it in favor of Lomachenko because he's a top-ranked fighter. Let's get another voicemail. I hope that you say your name in the beginning, but it was 361-237-00. Oh, I shouldn't say the rest of that. But whoever has area code 361, I didn't say the whole thing. Let's play it now and see what they have to say.
So whenever Devin Haney got hit with,
I lost my voice. This weekend partying a little bit too much with the family with a bunch of old heads. Hito.
That 6-punch to 5-punch combination. Well, I have the exact same opinion on Loma. He definitely maybe 115 to 113.
So this caller had a 115 and 113, believe it's 999.
But 116 to 112 is mind-blowing in my opinion.
That's something that's not is there any way, okay, let's hypothetically say Haney potentially could have won that fight. Is there any way that you guys can give it 8 rounds to 4 for Haney? Or is that judge just completely out of touch? Or is there anybody out there that scored it anywhere close to that for Devin Haney?
But I guess rounds 4 through 8 could have definitely went to Haney though. But that's 6.
And I think that's how I had it too. He said rounds 4 to 8 could have went to Devin Haney. I had Haney rounds 5, 6. And I think for me the clear rounds were rounds 4, 5, and 6. 7, 8 were pretty close, to be honest. But let's go back
to 5-punch combination again. Remember that Shakur Stevenson fight versus Yoshino? Shakur is always inside, and that's what Haney did against Lomachenko. and he used his reach to evade. But the thing about Shakur in that Jamel Herring fight, he used his southpaw stance again, which I don't think Lomachenko doesn't know how to do. Is to land that left cross whenever Haney is shifting right, and that's my take right there, Miller.
Yeah, 116. Thank you for the call, 999. 116, 112 for Haney was just absolutely ludicrous. Lomachenko did a beautiful job. Before I play the next call, which I'm about to, we have two more. If you guys want to call in, 267-545-8096, you can leave a voicemail. I see I'm getting one now. I will play live on stream right after this. Let's give credit to Lomachenko. A lot of people counted him out. A lot of people said that he was going to be too old, too small for Haney, and he came there to fight. My prediction was, at first I picked Haney, right? Let me know your guys' predictions and be honest, right, in chat. Who did you have winning before you saw the fight, and did you switch your pick or not? But before the fight, I switched my pick the week of the fight, and I said, listen, everyone's saying that Lomachenko, he's going to be a shell of himself. He doesn't, at 135, he's too small and he's not as fast or as dominant, because at 126 and at 130, in those divisions, he was making fighters quit on their stool. Nicholas Walters, Guillermo Rigondeaux, he was dominating his opponents. And people might not remember, he was almost, not even arguably, by most fans, he was thought of as pound for pound the best fighter in the world. And it's crazy because he's 17-3. And every loss is somewhat disputable. Now, for me, this whole soliloquy or this whole time on stream, it might sound like I'm a Lomachenko fanboy, but I was upset in the way he fought Lopez. I gave it to Lopez. I thought Lopez edged the fight 7-5 because Lomachenko made the vast mistake. He gave Lopez too much credit for his power, and he just gave too many early rounds, and that's what people were saying. So I thought to myself, come fight Devin Haney. He's not going to make the same mistake. There's no way he's going to start slow. He's either going to go for broke, leave it all out there, and lose. And then when Haney started landing to the body, I'm like, listen, the later rounds, Haney's going to pick up. He's going to slow down Lomachenko. But to me, I saw vintage Lomachenko. So let's give credit to him at 35 years old, fighting the bigger fighters because he wants to be undisputed at a higher weight class. We got to give him credit. But to say Devin Haney won 8-4 is absolutely ludicrous.
You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fingers and say, that's the bad guy. You need.
Before the fight, I thought Haney would outclass Loma. Before the fight, I thought Haney was going to be able to bully him, even out of the clinch, tying him up. Another thing, Keanu, but the Jojo Diaz fight made me think of it a little bit, but I thought Haney, that's another big talking point. So thank you for reminding me, Keanu. I thought Haney was going to be able to establish the jab very early in the fight, and that was going to be one of the deciding factors. From rounds 1 to round number 12, I think it's safe to say Haney wasn't able to establish that jab. But he did use other tools. He did land beautiful shots to the body. He did fight from the inside at moments and land the right hook across the head as well, too. He hit Lomachenko with a check left hook a few times after Lomachenko will double the jab up. Haney did great work, don't get me wrong, especially at 24. If they rematch even 2 as well, Haney might make some adjustments to completely fluster Lomachenko. But as far as this fight, I believe Lomachenko took it 7-5. I can see why you're defending him, Curtis. You can win that money and still admit Loma won, though, says Hito. Ashley believe he won, says Curtis Williams. Yeah, that was mine. But Loma made no adjustments when Haney ducked his head and not uppercut. And Shakur's a southpaw with no pillow hands. Beat Oscar, a KO artist, and beat him at his own game. We'll talk about shortly whether he fights Shakur next, whether he fights Tank next, who does he fare well against, and who does he beat and who he doesn't beat. Me against Jake Paul, who you got winning the fight? Jake Paul. Loma would have won if he threw more combos when he was on the ropes, and Haney didn't even land more than 40 jabs. Again, almost 50% of his work was to the body. Loma only had spurts. A lot of those rounds he was active. He still lost. There were times that he would, use some footwork and not let his hands go. William says, actually, I believe Devin. 1-7 through 5. Respect. A caller 609. When you guys call in too, share your name so I know exactly who it is. If you guys don't mind, you guys can call in at 267-545-8096 and share your thoughts. But let's play the next one.
Bro, it was a sad day for boxing. Such a sad day. Pretty much what's going on in boxing right now is
you can hear the sadness in the caller's voice. So obviously he believes that Lomachenko clearly won.
if you don't get a knockout, they got a game plan. They got a movement. Loma's too old. He's not part of this superstar fight they're trying to plan. So if you don't get knockouts like Tank did or nothing like that.
Let me pause it right there because that point is a good one, and I hate to give Hito credit. Hito, it's annoying that I have to. But what makes more money in the future? Devin Haney, Lomachenko at being 35 on his way out. You could even say Triple G versus Canelo. Canelo was a future, the face of boxing. So if it's close, they're gonna give it to Canelo. That's what they did. Who makes more money for them in the long run? Well, Lomachenko is under top rank, but as far as the judges, maybe they had another thing in mind, saying Devin Haney, being the younger fighter, when you start to play the hypotheticals on their future fights, what sells better? We love Lomachenko. People love Lomachenko. But two young lines like Haney and Shakur, I think that sells better to the casual fan, to the young fan. Devin Haney versus Gervonta Davis, that sells better than a Lomachenko fight as well, too. The future is being paved in a sense. It almost seems like. So you make a great point, Hito, and you also say that if you don't win by knockout or like Tank did, again, back to my point. Dave Moretti, the Gervonta Davis fight, you guys see it right here. Gervonta Davis landed a knockdown, and the judges scored it a tie round, 10-10. Makes absolutely no sense. So you're right. Sometimes when you're the challenger, it appears, although I don't agree, that you have to land a knockout in order to win. You got to win so decisively, and not only that, pray to God that you get. For it not to even be a split decision was a little bit just surprising to me. Beta says, I did say my name. Cool. What I do know is that Haney does not need to fight at 135 at all. That's another topic. Hopefully we could all cover it in an hour and a half. But I agree. His power, although he landed good body work, there just doesn't seem to be enough behind the punches. But maybe he grows into his power at 130, at 140. Call him a duck and all that, but Buddy looked near death at the weight class. He looked like Skeletor. He made weight. Let's keep on with the call.
They're just, judges gonna have their way in boxing. Sad day.
Judges are gonna have their way in boxing. you hear him say, "Sad day." My man Hito was hurt, and I get it.
Boxing. Loma had that all day. That's disrespectful to that man's career. My baby's crying, so I'm out too.
Listen, thank you for the call, Hito 609. You guys helped make a fun show. It's tough too, right? Because he was undisputed once. If he were able to get the nod this past weekend, he would have been undisputed twice. He would have been undisputed twice. That would have been a great feat. That I'm sure that's what he dreamed of, and that's why we saw the videos of Lomachenko after the fight bawling in tears, because he said, "Oh, I remembered my son telling me and knew," and that's what he felt that he was gonna do, and he didn't get the nod. Yeah, but isn't Up Grandpa has been a judge for Haney since Kambosos won? Yes, he. I think he judged, I believe, 4 fights for Devin Haney and 6 fights for Lomachenko. Speaking of Moretti, if I'm mistaken, let me know. Let's get to the next call in a second. But I agree, Beta. He has to move up to 140 because that body, and he said it too, even after in the post-fight press conference. In the Unified, I'm sorry. He said it in the post-fight press conference. When asked, speaking of Haney, and we're going to play the next call. When Haney was asked, what are you going to do next? He says, there's some big fights to make at 135. But maybe I go up to 140 and see how I feel there. And maybe I go up there and then come back. And then I come back to 135. You could tell the weight cut is getting to him. He's a big guy for the division. Also, too, I don't know if people spoke about enough. Haney, there were times that I thought he didn't use it enough, that he landed to the body at a distance, because that reach is pretty long enough for him to land from there. Some beautiful long punches to the body that if they rematch again, I would probably bet Haney. Die starts today. You're right, G. I picked out a little bit this weekend, so I'm gonna have to slow down. I'm glad we did that because I need to lose weight and I need to lock in. I was wrestling with my nephew, and bro, it felt like I ran 5 miles. Let's play the next call. This is by a 717 number. So let's play another voicemail. We have this one and one more. If you guys want to call in and share your thoughts on Devin Haney versus Lomachenko and who you felt won, 267-545-8096. Let's play the next one.
Come on, bro. Everybody.
Okay, I know exactly who this is. Come on, bro. That's my son Keyshawn Walker from Lancaster, PA.
Knows boxing knows that Haney won clear.
Everybody that knows, this is the first caller that has it for Haney, so this should be interesting. Let's play that back.
Come on, bro. Everybody that knows boxing knows that Haney won clear as day.
Everybody that knows boxing knows that Haney won clear as day. This is coming from a guy that didn't know who James Toney was. That I have him in a group chat with other guys, and there's a guy by the name of Victor Kane on there, and we're talking boxing, and we're talking about James Toney. He doesn't even know who James Toney is. So all that to say, let's listen to the rest.
Like, legit. I don't know if you just started this new little hobby of yours. Or you...
Been doing it for quite a while. Hit the thumbs up.
Just start watching fights and start calling them. You should probably pick up a book and leave the commentators to the real professionals and the real scoring.
Leave the commentating to the real professionals, okay?
Real professionals. You have no idea what you're talking about. And I'm actually disappointed that you actually think Loma was robbed. Do better, man.
There you have it. That's from Keyshawn Walker, who I think the first fight, one of the first fights that he's ever seen was I think Davis versus Garcia. He might have picked Garcia to win as well too. So for whatever that's worth, anybody that knows boxing knows that Haney won clear as day. I don't think so. I think the general consensus, for the most part, if you look online, if you look at the comments, most people had Lomachenko winning. And one of the next conversations and talking points that I want to talk about as well too is does Loma deserve a rematch? And should Haney give it to him? And is it a stain on Haney's career if he doesn't give that rematch to Lomachenko? He could make him wait a little bit to Lomachenko's 36, 37. A little slower Lomachenko. I believe Haney gets the nod. I see the skeleton face in the chat. Yeah, he doesn't even know who James Toney is. I doubt he knows who Roy Jones is. Die starts today. Let's go. Let's play the next one. This is from a 215 number. So let's see who this is. Left me a long one too. Left me pause. Pause on that one. Left me a long voicemail on this fight. So let's see what he has to say. This is from a 215 number. So a Philadelphia native. Let's see.
I'm gonna keep it a bean.
And he starts it off with "I'm gonna keep it a bean." I think I recognize his voice.
Loma, his lack of body work. That's what.
This is by DJ Bounce God. He's the one that made our track for our intro. So shout out to him. Someone that knows a little bit about boxing, way more than our previous caller. So let's keep it going.
That's what lost the fight for him. If he was consistent in all areas, he probably would have pulled the dub out. He probably would have lured the judges over there.
Let's play that again. If he was consistent in other areas, he probably would have pulled the dub off. Let's see what he has to say about it. Let's go back.
Loma, his lack of body work. That's what.
His lack of body work. Okay.
That's what lost the fight for him. If he.
His lack of body work. He did land more total punches. So maybe our caller here, he gives more merit to a complete work, a complete not only head hunting but landing to the body and upstairs. The problem with that argument, we'll play the rest of course and give him his fair share, but I guess you could say the contrary to Haney. You can say Lomachenko has a lack of body work, but you can also say Haney had a lack of work landing upstairs, because 50% of the punches were to the body. Pause. Damn, mother, the internet is forever. That was a bad one. That was a bad one. Beta says, I love it. The entire boxing community is up in arms outside of a few. Yeah, listen, this is good for boxing. Hopefully we get more entertaining fights. At least we got Lomachenko versus Haney, which is a fight that people wanted to see. Let's continue with the call. 267-545-8096 if you want to leave a voicemail. We'll play live on stream.
Was consistent in all areas. He would have got he probably would have pulled it.
Let me pause it as well too. Remind me, guys, I think we can make a video out of these and it'll be cool, like a 10-minute, 8-minute video, like playing calls and playing the best points. If you had Haney winning, if you had Loma winning, feel free to call. But if you had Haney winning, even more so, leave a call, leave a voicemail, because we'd love to hear the arguments.
He probably would have lured the judges over to him, but as far as like rounds 1 to 8, I think he might have sprinkled in a couple of rounds between them. But Haney, he did the work to the body with up top. He countered everything Loma.
There were, again, I rewatched the fight last night, so to our caller, that's a good point. He countered as well, too. There was beautiful check left hooks that Haney would land, and they were sneaky ones that you could even argue might have had more power behind them than what Loma landed initially, because Lomachenko will land some beautiful double jabs. He will land the left straight. He will double that up, and Timothy Bradley was giving him credit for that as well too. But there were times that Haney would see it and land some counterpunching.
Loma was throwing 4s and 5s, but only maybe 1.5.
You'll never hear the previous caller landing 4 and 5s. I bet you he doesn't even know what that is. So maybe someone could tell him to look that up. But that is what Haney would be doing. Some beautiful uppercuts too. Short counterpunching. Not enough of them. I felt Haney had an opportunity to do that when Loma would duck his head.
Took that 9, 10, and 11. But like, if you just take a closer look, I feel like everybody hung up on, what they seen last, which was those last rounds.
That's a good point as well too. Shout out to our caller, man. And in depth. There's still a good amount left too. That happens in boxing sometimes, and maybe that's why I scored it too wide, where I had it almost 9-3. I had it almost 9-3 Lomachenko, and I'll be honest, I was wrong about that. I have it 7-5 after a second watch. But you're right. When you see Lomachenko in round number 10 and 11, that's the last thing in your memory, right? Where maybe fans are not accounting Haney's work in the beginning of the fight and those rounds that could have went to him. And maybe that's why you hear the word robbery a lot of times, because you see round number 10, you see round number 11, the best rounds for Lomachenko by far, the clearest rounds for Lomachenko, even though Moretti gave one of those rounds to Haney, which is absolutely ludicrous. That's a very good point to our caller from Philadelphia. Very good point. People are maybe hung up on the later rounds. I feel like I'm almost being convinced a bit. There's another caller as well too. I'm gonna let him leave a voicemail, and then we'll keep playing these calls. Let me catch up with chat. Fighters here and there, but you need to leave it to the professional, says Beta. Who wins, Prime Crawford or Prime Money Mayweather? I go with Mayweather pretty easily, actually. Wilson Perea in the chat. Welcome to the stream, my guy. He says, what's up, Miller? Amazing tactical fight. USA judges need to improve and have other judges also involved. Talk season, support your boy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. There's another caller as well, too, so I'm going to let that fizzle out. Wilson, thank you for being a member. I see the blue glove by your name. It helps the channel immensely when you guys hit the join button. So if you guys want to support, I'm putting the link in the chat as well, too, so you guys could keep supporting. We have over 30 members, so we hit our highest number this month, and it is quite a blessing. So let's play... Let's keep playing this voicemail. This is probably one of the best calls yet, I will admit. So thank you so much, Bounce, for leaving this in-depth voicemail. But let's keep playing it. And once again, Wilson, thank you for being a member. 999, Beta, all you guys. Hito, it goes a long way. Let's go back to this voicemail.
Which he won, but he definitely lost 12-2.
Oh, can I hit Do Not Disturb and we still get voicemails? Calls will be sent to voicemail while... Yes, perfect. Cool.
So, I mean, I feel like everybody's just on their emotions and not looking at the bigger picture, which was
everybody's going off emotions and not looking at the bigger pictures. Fans are notorious for that. I remember Isaac Cruz versus Gervonta Davis. A lot of people were saying it was a robbery. Even I was damn near close to saying that as well, too. You rewatch it, Davis landed the cleaner punches. I don't think that applies here as far as Haney landing the cleaner punches altogether, but nonetheless, it is an argument.
A whole fight to where, that did make the difference, with those body shots. But I definitely think it should be a rematch.
I definitely think there should be a rematch. I 100% agree with those sentiments. I'm very pessimistic that it happens, though. I'm very pessimistic that we do get a rematch because, again, Haney's father looked disinterested, saying it wasn't close enough for it to merit a rematch, which I completely disagree with.
Deserve that, or I think he deserved at least another, title shot, before he do move on from boxing. He looked like, the way he was upset looked like he feel like he probably never get a shot again. And
he did look upset, and they are planning to appeal the decision. Now, whether they'll get some kind of traction for it or I don't think anything will come out of it. Usually it doesn't, so we'll see.
I think that's the case. I think he should definitely hang his head because it was a great fight. He put on a great show. So hopefully, if Haney do go up to 140 and those, the titles become.
This is an interesting conversation. If Haney does go up to 140, let's see what he has to say.
I think he should be first in line, to get that shot to, take over that, undisputed role or at least get a belt or two. So great fight, great talks. Shout out to Miller, you know what I mean? Bull bounce with the locks. Hit me up if you need something. I'm out of here.
If you need parlay picks, hit him up as well too. So great call. I appreciate it. I liked one of your points, one of the later points where he said, listen, I think a lot of fans are stuck up on the last few rounds. If you saw the last few rounds, you would say, oh, it seemed like Lomachenko won, and maybe they weren't giving enough credit to the early work of Devin Haney. That's a very good point. Now, going up to 140, if Haney goes for the titles, it's interesting to see how he would do against a Taylor, a Prograis, Lopez. There's some big fights up there at 140 for Haney, and he does get the nod this time. I do believe that weight cut is getting to him, so we're going to see him at 140 sooner than later. Let's play another call as well, too. We have 856 number, so let's play it and see what he has to say.
Hey, man, what's going on? Hey, you got Devin as one of the top guys. So for him to fight Lomachenko, which is 35, Devin is 24.
So for him to fight Lomachenko, Lomachenko's 35, Devin is 24. This is a caller from 856. Let me know if you're in the chat, the person that called in 856. We'd love to know who you are, but let's go on with the voicemail.
About 11-year difference.
11-year difference, correct. A lot of experience, right, between those 11 years, too. And Lomachenko having 400 amateur fights, roughly, right? And I think he only lost like 3 of them. Yo, bounce God, go off. there you go.
I don't see a rematch.
A legend for the channel because he created our intro song. Here we go.
Happening.
I don't see a rematch happening.
But, yeah, Devin won. That's what the judges scored it. But in my eyes, I watched it live. I saw Lomachenko get the best of him. From my standpoint, they don't deserve a rematch because
this should be interesting because he had Lomachenko winning. I'll rewind a little bit, but he doesn't believe it deserves a rematch, so I'm rewinding a little bit.
But in my eyes, I watched it live. I saw Lomachenko get the best of him. From my standpoint, they don't deserve a rematch because Lomachenko, he seemed kind of gassed, but
Lomachenko seemed kind of gassed. Merchant, I'm sorry, I missed your message earlier too. Loma is a sacrificial lamb. I thought even before the fight he needed a KO or he'll surely lose. That's how usually it goes in boxing when a new prospect fights an old line. Sorry, not sorry. Merchant, very good point. I don't know how I missed that message. I'm the worst at reading. I read backwards all the time. But Merchant, that's a very good point. Very good point. A lot of times they go with who makes some more money in the future. And he says Loma looked gassed towards the end. Here we go.
For Devin to be a top contender, one of the top dogs, they call him one of the 3 kings. And it was a really tight fight. I just don't think I just don't think he belongs in that class. You know, for him to fight Tank or Shakur, you know, I think he'd have a loss on his record. But outside of that, yeah, he won because of the judges.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Because I thought he was speaking of Lomachenko for a second. He's saying essentially, which is one of our next topics, he might not hang in there with Gervonta Davis and Shakur. Speaking of Haney, that is one of the topics that I can't wait to speak of, because if you're talking to me about Haney versus Davis or Shakur before Saturday, I would have said, listen, that jab might give Gervonta Davis enough problems to keep him at bay. I completely changed my tune on that after what I saw this Saturday. We'll talk about that shortly. Let's go back to the voicemail.
You know, I think he'll have a loss on his record, but outside of that, yeah, he won because of the judges. In that same fight, one of the judges, they commentated or judged the Gervonta Davis fight with Ryan Garcia.
Yep, and that's what we were talking about earlier.
With that 7th round. No, I think it was the 2nd round, the knockdown.
The knockdown, yep. He's referring to Dave Moretti scoring the 2nd round in the Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia fight.
One of those same judges gave Ryan that round. So that
which makes absolutely no sense, right?
Just let you know what boxing has come to, and
that's a fact.
You know, I'm not really a talker, man. I'm not really a boxing fanatic. I'm more just of a Tank fan. So, you know, I don't think many people can beat Tank, but just in my opinion,
agreed,
it'd be best if Devin just moves up to 140 and just ducks these guys, because you know, if he wants the money, he has to build his name. With that loss on his record from Tank or Shakur, it just won't look good. You see nobody talking about Ryan anymore.
That's a great point as well, too. Credit to the caller. The talks about Ryan Garcia are very low. Now, he is going to be training with Derrick James, and he's going to be in the same camp as Errol Spence, the Charlo brothers, Anthony Joshua. Whether that improves his boxing and he comes back to 135 or goes up to 140 and gets a couple wins and notable wins remains to be seen. We will talk about it, but you're right. Nobody talks about Ryan Garcia anymore, right? Once those losses do hurt, boxing is still at the stage, and hopefully we move past it, where you get a loss and you're viewed completely differently.
He's not even considered one of the 4 kings anymore.
He's not even considered one of the 4 kings anymore. That's very, very good point so far.
3 kings. So, you know, if he wants to build a name, continue his legacy, just from watching that, he cannot beat Tank.
Just from watching that, he cannot beat Tank. There's a few seconds left, so remember that point. We'll talk about that right after this voicemail.
Loma just, you know, from his age,
his voice,
it just won't look good for him if he stays at 135.
If just from watching, thank you for the call. 856, not exactly sure who that is. Just by watching that fight, he doesn't beat Tank.
He cannot beat Tank and continue his legacy. Just from watching that, he cannot beat Tank.
Just from watching that, he cannot beat Tank. Listen, I don't know if other streamers or content creators, analysts are talking about this enough. I don't feel it's talked about enough, but again, the southpaw stance, and I'll be playing, we have 2 more voicemails. Again, against Jojo Diaz, that's when Haney got touched up the most, and it was against a southpaw fighter. Lomachenko, I thought Haney was going to be able to implement the jab. I thought it was going to be a deciding factor in the win. I thought it was going to be detrimental if Haney wasn't able to land the jab. Although he didn't, he did have great body work, and he found other ways to land some big shots. So obviously there's something about the southpaw stance and southpaw fighters that Haney doesn't look as dominant against as compared to orthodox fighters. Who's a southpaw fighter that packs a heavier punch than Lomachenko? Who's a southpaw fighter that can also box quite well, although smaller than Devin Haney? None other than Gervonta Tank Davis. And this is credit to Haney. He's a good fighter, but again, we got to call it for how we see it.
I don't mean no disrespect on Henry, but that's...
We don't mean no disrespect. But if Loma was able to back down, Haney and made him stumble or hurt twice is one of the simplest arguments, and it almost sounds a little bit elementary because we're playing the triangle theory, right? But hang in with me here. If Lomachenko is able to back down Haney, what do you think Gervonta Davis does? Let's be quite honest. 267-545-8096. Now, if you want to leave a voicemail, you can. Let's talk about Devin Haney's future opponents. So if anybody's calling, leave a voicemail, talk about Gervonta Davis or Shakur, or what should Devin Haney do from here? Or maybe you could talk about what if Tank and Haney fought, who would win? So you can leave a voicemail, 267-545-8096. Hit the thumbs up as well, too. If Loma is able to back down Devin Haney, before this fight, I had no doubt that Haney would have a competitive fight against Gervonta Davis. I know this might be a little bit of recency bias. This could be credit to Lomachenko being better than or doing better than what we imagined. But if Davis steps in there in that ring with him, I would probably bet the house on Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, whether that fight is going to happen or not is a whole different topic. Hollywood Heave, welcome to the stream. He says, it's me, Hollywood. I called back from a different number as well, too. Oh, cool, man. Thank you so much for leaving a voicemail. We appreciated your call. We're going to play a few more as well, too, so thank you, man. 999 says, maybe Haney trained differently for a southpaw and didn't go for the jab as much, so Haney went for more counters and not throwing more. Maybe that's why Loma landed more and threw more. Yeah, maybe he... with the tape that he saw, he went in there not to implement the jab. I thought he didn't do that just because he simply couldn't use it. Miguel Corona says, clearly a robbery. Thanks so much, Miguel, for coming through. I thought it was clearly a robbery too, but we can talk about more Haney versus Tank or Haney versus Shakur. Maybe Haney fares better against the Shakur Stevenson. Let's play another voicemail, and we have two more, including this one.
Hey, Miller, this is 999 here, and the thing that I just realized is that I don't think nobody gives the credit for how strong Haney's chin is. Like, I know he got rocked like 2 times in maybe round 10.
Great point. Credit to Haney. He got rocked twice in that fight. He got rocked by Linares before. After Loma clearly won rounds 10 and 11. For Haney to kind of rally, and I thought he won that 12th round, is credit to Haney being a young fighter that, although wobbled, although maybe hurt, and although maybe even a little bit drained at 135 or making weight, he did show heart. He did show a chin. That's a great point, 999, for saying
maybe
giving credit to Haney's chin.
But I think his chin is better than a lot what more people think, and I think
good point. Now that whether that chin holds up against Gervonta Davis is a whole different topic, but anyways,
his cardio got a lot more better, or that rehydration clause, which is stupid, is that Ryan fight. Because in my opinion, Ryan would have definitely would have won the fight, but I think it would have gone a longer distance, like maybe like round 11, round 10 or 9.
Yeah, maybe that did affect his performance, and once he got knocked down in the second round, he wasn't able to really fully recover. He really slowed down after getting knocked down.
But I really think that Shakur can really threaten Devin Haney's
and Shakur's another person that we haven't talked about enough.
Career, because I really think that, because I don't know the last time that we have a southpaw 140 pounder in the boxing lately, because Shakur can really do some damage to Devin Haney.
And I think Shakur is growing into his body, growing into his power as well, too. I've been saying this for years. People have judged Shakur for maybe not being the strongest puncher. In his last few fights, he's gotten some stoppages. And when he lands to the body, it's a whole different reaction from his opponents as compared to a Devin Haney.
And I really do think that Top Rank is cursed whenever they're on their own platform. And Top Rank just signed Kambosos to a multi-fight deal, and I think that is really a curse. And I'm gonna do something back to the 70-year-old grandpa from up. Peace, Miller.
Thank you for the call, 999, once again. Yeah, that whole 78 years old, Dave Moretti, giving round number 10 to Devin Haney is just ludicrous. Let's play back. We have one more voicemail. You could call in at 267-545-8096 and share your thoughts on Devin Haney versus Lomachenko. We have one more call, and then we'll talk a little bit more about boxing. We've been live for an hour, so a nice long stream where we were able to talk fighting. Thank you guys for the ongoing support every Monday morning at 10:30. Lomo's body was beat like a drum. Reddish. Kasi 3. I agree. His body was red, but my problem is I don't go off the visuals as far as maybe his body was red, but did it ever seem to you, and you can feel free to disagree, but did it ever seem to you that he was hurt to the body? That the punches landed hurt him to the point that he had to retreat or had to slow down? Because that's something that I didn't quite see. Yes, Haney landed some beautiful shots to the body, about 50 punches to Lomachenko's 9. So credit to him, but I don't think he was hurt. Let's go to a next call here from a 614 area code.
Hey, this is the same call. This is Ray. Just one more point I wanted to add. The post-interview with Bill Haney.
Okay, so he's going to talk about the post-interview with Bill Haney, which nobody brought it up as well, too, so this should be good.
He said he wasn't confident that the judges would make the right decision. Meaning he wasn't confident that Devin won the fight. That just says a lot about how the fight went.
So do you think he was contradicting himself because he wasn't sure if the judges will get it right, but then he also says the fight wasn't close enough for a rematch? I think that's a fair point, right? Like, which one is it, right? Because it seems like some sort of contradiction, unless I'm missing something.
How Bill Haney viewed it, talking to Devin in the corner. They can see a lot of the truth, but hey, it is what it is. Appreciate the time.
Thanks so much, Ray, for the call, man. It's nice to have a back and forth for boxing fans. 267-545-8096. You can leave a voicemail and share your thoughts on the fight. Yeah, Haney says it wasn't close enough, but I will give him credit speaking about the father, Bill Haney. He did say after round number 9, hey, you're winning this fight. So in his mind, he truly believed he was winning. And Haney had a good 9th round. So I completely understand. But for him to say exactly what you said, he wasn't sure if the judges will get it right. That maybe hinting at he didn't feel that confident that they were going to leave out there with the win. And Haney's response and how his hands were lifted after the fight, he did look a little bit unsure on whether he was going to get the decision, and by the way he responded. So thank you for the call once again. And yeah, Bill Haney didn't look the most confident afterwards, although saying they won by sort of a landslide. And Shakur is more active than Haney, so I got Shakur. If I had to pick those two opponents, Shakur and Tank, those two beat Devin Haney, in my honest opinion. Kasi 3 says the punches were landed, and yes, Loma fought in spurts. That was an argument also that Zav Judah, the man that fought Mayweather as well too, he had the same argument as well as you too. So I respect where you're coming from. Why didn't they show Loma's corner the whole fight? They showed it a few times. I don't know if they had a problem with the translating, because I watched it again yesterday, and they showed Haney's corner a little bit more. You would think, it being a top ranked promotion, they would show more of Loma's corner, but for some reason they didn't. So that's a good question. You see what your Dominican New York homie put on Twitter? Check that out after the stream and DM me. Where did you send it to me? My Dominican New York homie put on Twitter. Let me know where you send it, and I'll even show it on stream. I don't mind, because I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about, but I'm sure it's gonna be interesting. Last thing you need is to read that tweet on stream and bring the weirdos. Let me see if I could bring it up real quick. I won't show it on screen, but 267-545-8096. I wonder what you're talking about. You didn't message. Send it to me on Twitter if anything, because I don't see anything there. Thank you for all the calls so far. We had a beautiful and very fun podcast so far. We're going to keep it going. For anybody that wants to call in, 267-545-8096. Last thing you need to do is read that tweet on stream and bring the weirdos. One more video I wanted to play too is as we talk a little bit more boxing and for what's in the future. Again, Lopez versus Taylor is June 10th. So that's something that I'm extremely excited to see.
Should be undisputed champion.
To beat a dead drum a little bit more, or beat a dead horse. Shakur had it 8 rounds to 4, and this is what he said after the fight.
Lomachenko should be undisputed champion. He won.
Wow.
He won. He won that fight.
He said that fight confidently. Another point. Haney was in Las Vegas, Nevada, where he's been living there since what, like about 5 years old or something like that? Is it because fans are finicky, or is it because I didn't know Lomachenko had that many fans in Las Vegas, or the people in the building just really felt Lomachenko won because Haney was essentially booed out as he was walking out. And right after the fight, Lomachenko was the one getting all the cheers. And when Shakur says Lomachenko won that fight, hear the crowd's reaction.
Lomachenko should be undisputed champion. He won.
Wow.
He won.
You hear the commentator saying, wow.
That fight. What was it about his performance tonight that makes you say that?
I don't think that's true, Kasi 3. I saw plenty of Haney highlights in the as I rewatched it.
He deserved the win. He landed the cleaner punches. He landed the cleaner shots on Dev, and he pushed the pace.
He landed the cleaner punches and he pushed the pace. That's another thing as far as ring generalship. I know that's not at the top of the criteria on how you judge a fight, but Loma was also the one taking. Oh, okay. I know exactly who you're talking about as well too. Let me see what he had to say. Because maybe I could comment on it without let me see what he had. Nostradamus, if that's an easy way to talk about who we're saying. 5 hour. This is exactly what I've been saying. One of the main complete casuals. You see some of these? They call robbery. Casual. I think I see what you're talking about, so I'll message you about it afterwards as well too. I'm showing it on. I thought I had my screen hidden. I already think I did it, so it's too late. I think that's what you're referring to. Am I not mistaken? I'm a noob at this beta course. Let's go. I also wanted to bring up the total. Haney. Not that. Oh, who are you talking? Dominican and New York guy. DM me on Twitter. But punch stats, let's quickly look at this as well too. We've been live for almost an hour and a half. Very fun podcast. You could call in at 267-545-8096 and share your thoughts on who you felt won. If we look at the punch stats for a little bit as well too. Let me see if I could zoom in a little bit. He's hard not to mention. Who? Oh my God, Beta. I know exactly who you're talking about. Beta. Sometimes when you're live, my mind doesn't necessarily work. I know exactly who. I'm disappointed that I. Oh my God. The Lopez lover. He doesn't even come up when I type the name in because I don't know if I'm followed on. Let me see. I'm dying to see this now. I don't even know how he spells his name on how does he spell his name on Twitter? I'm pretty sure I follow him. Give me 1 second, guys. This is something that needs to be seen. I know I follow him on here. Where is he? I know exactly who you're talking about. Guys, give me a second. This is highly important. Why doesn't he come up? I thought it was. Where is he? I literally can't find him on. I don't know if I didn't. I'm pretty sure I know exactly who you're talking about. The Lopez lover is the easiest way to mention him. I can't find him, bro. I'll catch up with chat in 1 second. I can't believe I didn't know from the jump of who you were referring to. Maybe I could look up Teofimo Lopez and his followers, mutual followers, and I'll because he just I thought his name. He doesn't come up. I'm gonna have to move on, but I'm gonna have to move on because I can't. I'll send it in your Instagram and Twitter. Okay, cool. Why does I don't understand why it comes up. Oh, he changed his name. I was looking up the other name. They trying to push the what? Oh my. All right, Beta, give me the okay. I'm okay with talking about this live on stream. That because it's a double L. Maybe we got to make a video about it. What do you think? Is it worth talking about this or no? If you're saying save it, I'll save it. But I don't know if that's the if this is the right thing to do right now. So give me some advice. Merchant says, gotta go to sleep, boys. It's 1 a.m. midnight. Can't wait for Dustin versus Justin. The card is stacked. UFC 291 is full of fights that are probably going to be barn burners. Jan Blachowicz versus Alex Pereira, Gaethje versus Poirier, which the BMF title is a little bit silly, right, Merchant? But anyways, thank you so much for being here and showing some love. I know it's late where you're at, so thank you, man. We have had a great and fun podcast live today. Fair Judgment says, Alfred, how did you feel about the fight? Let me know. Not that guy. Loma did a lot of downloading, in other words, waiting. You think he waited too long, Kasi 3? I respect it. You don't come defending about 65% and expect an undisputed title. My cap for the judges. Listen, the judges are quite interesting, man. I said it. Yep, that's the perfect name because it's a double L. I couldn't believe. Look in Discord. Oh yes, let me look in Discord real quick as well too. So, is it a direct message or is it in my? Okay. It is fair to say that Dave Moretti, the judge of the fight, looks exactly. This guy's 78 years old, calling undisputed or titles and unified titles. This is the guy right there that looks like there's no reason why this guy should be calling Haney versus Lomachenko for all the belts at 135. He's just a little bit too old, in my honest opinion. I wouldn't touch that on stream yet. You don't open Pandora's box, but just a short. All right, we'll talk about it some more and how I exactly approach that topic, because that's a good one. I'll be live for about 5-10 more minutes. 267-545-8096. If anybody else wants to call in, I appreciate all the call-ins, man. Bounce had a great argument for. Look, listen, on YouTube. Just a quick point that I wanted to say: on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, on almost any platform nowadays is almost taboo if you disagree. If you felt Haney won, all the Loma guys are saying you're a casual, you never put gloves on in your life, you're a stan, and it's always pointing fingers and name calling. If you felt Lomachenko won, what do Haney fans say? Oh, you don't know how to call a fight. You can't appreciate body work. You're a stan. They'll go as far as to say you hate him because he's from Cali or whatever. Like they, what's the problem with disagreeing nowadays? We have to be able to disagree. If you believe Haney won, although I believe Lomachenko won, give me a good argument and we'll talk about it. Instead of saying, oh, you're a casual, you're this, you're that. Because if you read these threads and these comments on some of the threads on TikTok and Instagram, it just gets insane. But I wouldn't touch that on stream. I agree, man. Maybe it's not best right now. I don't mind it, but I'm a little bit surprised that he said that. I'll read it a little bit. What did Tail say again? They're trying to push the what? How was this received in the comments? Look at one of the comments there. If you actually think Devin lost, you are no longer boxing knowledge channel, but a casual fan of the sport. I mean, that's a fair assessment as far as saying he's a casual fan, the way he simps for certain fighters. So there's that. I can't accept it. Look at this real quick. For whatever it's worth, we're about to get out of here soon. For whatever it's worth. One of the scorecards. Here we go. Dave Moretti. We got 4,400 likes on TikTok, so we're blowing up on TikTok. We all know Loma won that. Robbed for the money. Loma wins clearly. Loma won. Only reason why people say swing rounds is because unconsciously have to justify corrupt judges. There were some. I disagree with King Ray on TikTok as well here. There were some close rounds that you could give it to either one. I had it on my scorecards. Very fun stream, by the way, tonight as well, man. Or this morning. I'm so used to saying tonight. We had about 300 plus viewers, man. We're gonna keep growing this channel. We're inching away at 7,600 subscribers. So thank you guys for the ongoing support. Round one was a swing round. If you look at the punch stats, where are you? I think I had it here. Round one Both fighters landed exactly 6 punches. Round number 2, both fighters, one landed 10, one landed 9, but Lomachenko threw 10 more, so that could sway the judges. There are swing rounds, so I disagree with that assessment. We look at a few other rounds that were close. Like, for example, round number 6, you could say just by punch stats, if you were just judging off that, Haney won that clearly. But listen, 9 punches to 11 punches. What if one of those 11 punches rocked Haney? That's where it gets interesting. 9 punches to 9 punches in round number 8. There are swing rounds in this fight. So maybe I'm even changing my mind on stream live. But only reason why people say swing rounds is because unconsciously you have to justify corrupt judges. I wouldn't say that's the best argument. Roosevelt Velez, welcome to the stream, man. Good morning to you. He says, didn't watch the fight, but I'm never surprised how heated it gets when it's left to the judges. You should retire after 65 because your mind isn't at its best. Unless you're a politician or a fight judge. Listen, maybe I should make a short on that on video. Roosevelt, I promise you, my exact words on Saturday, I said there's only 2 kinds of people. There's only 2 groups of people that get away with almost like where they get away with murder. 1, politicians. 2, boxing judges. This guy is 78 years old. I almost feel I might troll and print this image out and hang this up around the neighborhood. We're out trying to look for him. There's no reason why this guy that looks like this guy should be judging unified title fights. No reason why that should be happening, but nonetheless it does. But as far as someone saying only reason why people say swing rounds is because unconsciously you have to justify corrupt judges, I disagree. And maybe that's why he got 0 likes on his comment. Judges got paid off, could be the case. Haney looked uncomfortable throughout that fight. I believe he did look a little bit uncomfortable because he wasn't able to establish the jab. So I agree a little bit. It's fun reading a couple of the comments. Thank you for all those that called in today, man. We had about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Had 8 voicemails. So hopefully I can, for the next stream on Monday, I'll give you guys a topic and I'll leave you guys a number so we keep doing this. Because that was a very fun back and forth. This last hour and a half flew by. Close fight Haney or draw Haney won a lot of the early rounds. Listen, I'm okay with people disagreeing with me, so thank you so much, Kasi3, for sharing your thoughts. We're trying to create a place and a podcast where people could disagree and still go about their way, and you know, me and Beta Quest politically disagree very like adamantly sometimes, as far as he's far, maybe you could say left on certain issues where I'm a little bit or even far right. And we have a good back and forth. So we're trying to create a community where we don't, our points of argument isn't race and isn't, or things of that nature. So Kasi, thank you so much for being here. And this is what we're trying to create. Believe Jesus is Lord. It says, public opinion sees Haney as having lost. I agree. Very well said. That's generally the consensus, right? As far as the votes on this channel, it's 63% believe it was a robbery, 37% for Haney. So not the widest. It could have been wider, right? So he may have the belts, but no one believes he earned them. There's a good amount of people that earned them, but I would say majority felt that Loma got robbed. You say Loma was robbed by the judges who looked to have filled out the scorecard prior to the fight. I hate the argument, believe Jesus is Lord, that to be the champ, you got to beat the champ, right? Because they scored on a round-by-round basis. 116-112, that's a great point by Julius Peralta on TikTok. Says 116-112 was ridiculous. I will admit 116-112 for Devin Haney is absolutely ludicrous. Essentially 8 rounds to 4. I scored it 7 rounds to 5 for Lomachenko. Maybe you could give it a 7-5 for Haney or a 6-6 draw. A literal red pill or blue pill talk, says 999. Yeah, we got to be careful with those, right? 999. But let's get out of here. We've been live for, give me 1 second, an hour and a half. That's what we're trying to keep it to. Thank you guys for a very, very, very fun show. Every Monday morning at 10:30 a.m. I believe this is the best viewership that we have had on a Monday. And we're going to make this eventually be the #1 podcast, morning MMA podcast, whether it's boxing or MMA or UFC or PFL. And we've essentially been live for an hour and a half talking about strictly boxing. We eventually want to talk about MMA, UFC as well too, but the Haney versus Lomachenko topic was just too hot to not focus on. Thank you for all the live callers, to Bounce, to Hito, to 999, to Ray. There were 2 Rays that called, and whoever else I missed. So thank you guys for Q, Keyshawn Walker, who knows nothing about boxing, but he called in. So thank you for all the calls. We had a fun night. Beta says the race argument in boxing can ruin fight discourse. I've seen channels that's all they talk about when it comes to boxing talk. I'm a commie, like full-on commie, but I talk with Miller and come to the community because it's a great space focused on fighting, and that's how we're going to keep it, right? So you're right. I don't want to be walking on eggshells where that's what it becomes. But as far as the Lopez lover, what a horrible argument. What a horrible argument. So we'll be back. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up if you're new here. Every Monday, 10:30 a.m. I don't believe we have a fight this weekend as far as what's this weekend? The 27th. Boxing fights this weekend. Or a UFC fight. If there's a big fight that you guys like for this weekend, let me know. But I don't think there's anything. So hopefully we just work on some content. If you have ideas on what I should make next as far as videos or anything like that, let me know. This is the Instagram. This is the Twitter. You can hit me up anywhere on there. This is the Discord if you want to have a back and forth. We're always talking as fans on there. Kasi says, good live, boss, man. Like how you just on one side, it was a close one. Respect. Yeah, I changed my mind. I was wrong. I had it 9-3 watching live. I think it was 7-5 after rewatch. I can see why there was a draw. I can't necessarily see it for Haney. Maybe a 7-5. I'm just glad we got to see a fight. That means something. Hopefully we get to see a rematch or just the best fighting the best. So I think we are treading into the territory where if a fighter loses their O on their record, we can still see them fight good fights. I think Ryan Garcia will sell well, and I hope they do so, because I think it's good for boxing. A draw would have been fair. Appreciate the stream. Great community. Thank you so much. Believe Jesus. Always get here when we're finishing up. Damn, Mike Dornan. We had some live callers. We responded to about 7 or 8 callers. So the best viewership that we have, Mike Dornan. Sorry, man. Maybe I'm doing a bad job of promoting these Monday morning streams. I'm not sure. So I apologize in advance. So thank you guys for a fun talk. #1 commentary channel on YouTube. We'll be here every Monday, 10:30 a.m. You can hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, and all that. 267-545-8096. You can leave voicemails. Thank you so much for another fun stream. We'll be back. Hit me up anywhere, and we'll talk some boxing. Much love. God bless. Thank you so much. Peace.
I'm the best ever. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me.
Yo, Bounce guy, go off.
I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champions of the he wants.
Wilder's in a world of trouble. Closing seconds. Can he weather the storm here in the 3rd round?
And of all the superlative.
That's a great name, Beta. We came with that one up on the spot. Let's go, Beta. Great name thing. Catch you next time, Mike. Sorry about that again, man. I'll try to promote better.
For Cambosos and that knockdown, Teofimo Lopez. We have ourselves a fight. Khabib Nurmagomedov gets a triangle choke from up top. Gaethje's out, and the fight is over. The triangle choke for Khabib Nurmagomedov.
And Porter gets knocked down. He gets knocked down again. 10th round TKO win.
Left uppercut, and then next out Leo. It appears he's out cold. The fight is over. It was a counter left uppercut, and just like that, what a left uppercut. I did not see that coming, ladies and gentlemen. I will have to admit, what a fight.
Nice celebration or a 3K video. I don't know, man. To hit 3,000 subscribers and like
right hook to the body for Campbell. Left hook to the body for Garcia, and then knocked down Campbell. It was a left hook to the body. Campbell on the ground. The count is on. Can he make his way up? It appears he can't get up. Campbell on the ground, trying to stand up. And the fight is over. Ryan Garcia with a 7th round knockdown. What a performance. Guys, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, we're trying to get to 3,000 subscribers. Do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up. We're trying to do record numbers today. Ryan Garcia tearing up and crying. What a performance for Ryan Garcia.